Este es el segundo vídeo de esta serie dedicada al C414, y no podíamos contar su historia y explicar su pasado sin contar con una de las personas que es clave para su futuro.
My name is Philip Feinman. I'm the product manager for microphones at Harman. Primarily working on studio-related microphones under the AKG brand.
O sea que él es quien está a cargo de la gama de micros de estudio de AKG en Harman, que es la empresa que es la actual propietaria de AKG. Pero, ¿cómo ha llegado hasta ahí? ¿Cuál es su relación con la música?
I grew up in Long Island, New York. Been into music my whole life, was playing in bands and stuff when I was younger. Ended up going to college for electronics at the University of Hartford. Through that, ended up working at another microphone company, designing very high-end tube microphones. And so I was doing that and decided at that point that I really wanted to move to Los Angeles because that was, to me, like the epicenter of music, you know?
Vamos, que Philip te sabe diseñar un micrófono de cero. Se conoce perfectamente todos los componentes y cómo funcionan. Pero esto es solamente el 50% que necesitas a la hora de diseñar un micrófono. También es importante saber cómo funcionan, qué usos le das, qué aplicación real tiene en un estudio. Y eso es exactamente lo que hizo en Los Ángeles.
So I ended up getting a job as a tech for East-West Studios, which is one of the bigger studios out here.
Ojo, East-West Studios, uno de los estudios más top del mundo y que tiene además un montón de historia. Quizás suene New York, New York, That's Life, My Way, de Frank Sinatra. Todo esto se grabó ahí. Los Rolling Stones, Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, Metallica, todo el mundo ha pasado por East-West Studios.
And then ended up starting my own studio called Bedrock LA. I ran for about 13 years. It was a big space, about 108 rooms in the building. It was a mixed-use space, all music. So we had rehearsal studios, recording studios. We had a whole rental department where we'd rent out equipment for concerts and things like that. We even had a little music store in there. I think at one point we were like the number 2 seller of strings or something in Los Angeles out of our tiny little store. So just got to use a lot of equipment. We even work with companies sometimes where they'd give us stuff to use just to see our opinion on things, or the rehearsal rooms, like people are pretty hard on gear, so sometimes like amp companies would be like, here's our new amp, like beat it up and let's see how long it lasts, or I could point out if there were any like faults or problems like that. So I've kind of been working with product for a long time, as a user and kind of on the development, helping with development end.
Vamos, que conoce perfectamente las necesidades de un estudio, de un rental, de las salas de ensayo. Es la persona ideal.
Product management is kind of a good mix for me. It's got a lot of this product development stuff that I'm used to, and then a lot of business end of things, which I had a lot of experience just from running my own studio, and I'm good with numbers, it works.
Solo que no sé tú, pero si yo estuviera a cargo de una empresa como AKG que tiene tantísima historia, por más que fuera la persona ideal, sentiría bastante presión.
I mean, I don't know if pressure is necessarily the right word. I mean, it's an honor, but I do feel a great sense of responsibility with it. I want to make sure that we are continuing to make forward-thinking products. I'm very familiar with the history of a lot of these older microphone brands, and AKG is one of the grandfathers of microphones, right? We've been making microphones since the 40s.
Y está genial que sea consciente de la responsabilidad que conlleva llevar a cargo una marca que lleva existiendo desde los años 40. Pero, ¿qué hay del futuro?
In addition to our heritage, we are just like constantly making sure we know what modern users want. There's definitely products coming. I can't speak too much about it, but the benefit of being in Los Angeles, a lot of studios, a lot of different content creators, keeping our finger on the pulse of what they want and need out of microphone products is something we're doing and we're working towards making new product on.
Estoy deseando de ver qué saca AKG en los próximos años, que seguramente acabará siendo una herramienta esencial para los profesionales, como ya lo han hecho muchas otras veces.
The list of professionals that haven't used our stuff is probably shorter than the list of people who have, right? Almost every professional has used an AKG product at some point in their lives. If you want to stick to 414 users specifically, like the big one that always stands out in my mind that gets me excited is Freddie Mercury. He used a 414 for almost everything he recorded. So that's like always, you want to hear a good example of a 414. It doesn't hurt that his voice was incredible, but Stevie Wonder, I know, used a 414 quite a bit. Tom Petty was using a 414 for a while. So I mean, like I said, the list can go on and on and on.
Y aunque sí, el C414 es perfecto para voces, pero destaca por ser una auténtica navaja suiza de los micrófonos. Lo puedes usar para todo. Así que obviamente le pregunté para qué lo usaba él en su estudio.
You know, the 414 is such a good, it's really such a great workhorse microphone. I mean, they're great for vocals, they're great for acoustic guitar. Use them as drum overheads a ton. They're just, I mean, they really are one of the best, like, all-around workhorse microphones. If you have enough of them, they're amazing on toms. Yeah, I mean, you gotta have at least a pair of them.
Toda la razón. Una pareja de C414 es un esencial en cualquier estudio, pero AKG ofrece muchos otros micros.
The D112 is one of the most popular kick drum microphones ever. We also do the D12 VR, which is the modern version of the original D12. I feel like is underutilized. I feel like more people should be checking it out. It's awesome because it's a dynamic microphone, but you can apply phantom power to it to add to have there's some active filters on there, so you can shape a little bit of the sound of the microphone by applying phantom power. Or if you don't want to, you can just use it as a straight dynamic also. The C414B is a great small diaphragm condenser microphone. My favorite hi-hat microphone of all time. It is the best hi-hat microphone. It's great on a lot of things, honestly. It's really, really nice on acoustic guitars too. But yeah, I mean, we make all kinds of stuff. Even the C411, which is like a contact microphone, you could put on an acoustic guitar. There's a lot of options. Even in the budget range, we have the P series microphones, the P120, P220 that are large diaphragm condenser microphones that we try and like have a complete range for people. For all different use cases.
Un rango tan amplio en el que además encontramos otras versiones del propio C414, como el C314 o el C214.
The C214 is just a cardioid-only version of a 414. You get most of the benefits of the 414, but just one polar pattern. The C314 gives you some additional polar patterns. So it's basically the 214, except that you get cardioid and figure 8 polar patterns. So you have a few different options. And then the C414 will be the most full-featured version, and that has 9 polar patterns. So it has your standard polar patterns and then some in-between options. And then it also has some additional filtering and additional pad options. So you can really shape your sound before it gets into your DAW or whatever you're recording into.
En el siguiente vídeo estaremos aquí en el estudio probando y comparando estos distintos micros para ver si realmente esta diferencia se puede apreciar. Y no puedo evitar hacerle una de las preguntas que nos llegan más. ¿Qué diferencia hay entre el C414 XLS y el XL2?
The C414 XLS model is a more neutral flavor. It is a flatter frequency response across the board. You'll find it more useful if you're using it as a room mic. I prefer it on drum overheads, things of that nature. If you want to put it on toms, it's a great tom mic. The C414 XL2 is a brighter. The capsule is brighter, so you have a bit of a presence boost going on with that. Really shines on vocals. Great on acoustic guitars. Things like that. It's a little less neutral, a little more sparkle, which some people liked about kind of the original 414s. But we wanted to make sure we had both options available. Both microphones have the exact same electronics inside. The only difference is the capsule.
Es algo que realmente se puede apreciar. Ya lo escucharéis en el estudio. Pero realmente la cápsula CK12 era tan mágica.
Realistically, if you go back and listen to a bunch of the brass capsule, the CK12 capsules that are in the C12s and the original 414s, back then the tolerances weren't as tight as we can get them now. So a lot of them sound different from each other. So now with current manufacturing processes, we can really make things unified and matched.
Los procesos actuales son tan precisos y uniformes que incluso se pueden ofrecer parejas match pair, que es ese emparejamiento de micrófonos por respuesta para que sea lo más parecida posible. Pero ¿cómo es este proceso?
So we have a pretty rigorous matching process where we'll take a batch of microphones that were made, and then we'll test the frequency response of every single one of them, and then start matching things that are within a dB of each other. The process is a bit time consuming, and some of it can be automated, but some of it has to be done by hand, and it takes time to make sure that when somebody does buy a matched pair from us, that it is like truly a matched pair.
Thank you again.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to checking out the videos and yeah, I really appreciate it.
Gracias de nuevo a Philip y el equipo de Harman que ha hecho posible esta entrevista. ¿Y a ti qué te gustaría ver en un futuro de AKG? Déjalo abajo en los comentarios. Recordad que al final de esta serie de vídeos que estamos dedicando al C414 vamos a sortear una unidad como la que tenemos aquí, el C414 XL2. Nos vemos en el próximo vídeo donde vamos a poder escuchar y apreciar las diferencias entre estos micros.